Alright lads, today we're going to be taking another look at a premium squad in Enlisted. Today, the 9th Panzer Division. This was formed in February of 1943 in France, and in June of 1944, it was transferred to the Western Front in France to repel the Allied landings in Normandy, after having a brief stint in the Eastern Campaign. This is obviously a tanker squad, coming equipped with the Panzer IV GA. We'll get into that shortly. Anyway, this squad will cost you $45 or €45 by itself. However, it is available to be purchased in the Invasion of Normandy Vanguard bundle, in which you get the Panzer IV J squad, as well as the Allied Sherman 1C Firefly squad. This bundle is available for $60 or €60. And if you are going to buy this tank, I would strongly recommend getting that bundle. Just remember though, with all premium squads in Enlisted, they are only available for one campaign and for one nation only. For example, this premium squad is only available to be used in the Invasion of Normandy squad on the German team. You can't use it in any other German campaigns, such as the Battle of Moscow or the Invasion of Tunisia. So by definition, Enlisted premium squads are quite niche. But anyway, this squad consists of 5 men, all of which are level 4 when it comes standard. This means you get the base crew perk, as well as 4 additional crew perks. As you can see here, our base perk is a 45% speed of gear shift. This basically allows you to accelerate faster. Makes the tank a little bit more nimble on the battlefield, allows you to go from driving to reversing pretty quickly. Basically good from retreating away from anti-tank grenades. We then also have the improved targeting skills of a tank gun. This basically allows you to move the turret and traverse and elevate and depress the gun a little bit quicker. Then also have a 30% speed of changing seats in the vehicle. This is good in case one of your crew members gets knocked out, as you can rapidly replace them with another member of the crew. We also have 100% better health regeneration outside of combat. This doesn't really make an effect on this squad really. You aren't really going to be damaging your squad really. If your squad gets damaged, it's because a tank has gone straight through your armor and killed a lot of you. So it's kind of meaningless, that crew perk, but it doesn't really matter. It's still nice to have nonetheless. And finally, we have the ability to change the type of ammunition without losing our reload process. This is good if you come across an enemy tank and need to load armor piercing, or if you come across a concentration of infantry and you need to load high explosive. As with all premium squads in the game, as I said, they do come as a level 4 soldier, but they can be upgraded to level 5, however that does not come as standard. Each one of these crew members will come with basically nothing to their name. They are a tanker class after all, so they will not have a primary or secondary weapon. They also won't have anything in their equipment slot, but you do get a Walther PP sidearm. This is basically useless in a firefight. It's got very short range and very low stopping power, so it's basically a weapon of last resort if you abandon your tank. You do also have a knife which can be used as a melee weapon, but again, if you resort into melee weapons with a tank premium squad, then you've done something horribly wrong. And finally, we do have a toolkit which does allow you to put out fires as well as repair the vehicle. So that's pretty much the crew. What about the tank? Well, it's the Panzer IV GA. Being a premium, this is of course a 5-star tank, which means it is fully upgraded and the best it can possibly be. The tank's armour is actually pretty thin. It is a Panzer IV, remember, so it's basically a pre-war design, I guess. Well, maybe not actually. What I'm trying to say is it's the old era of tank design. It's got flat slab slides pretty much. It's very easy to penetrate. The front of the tank only has a maximum armour protection of 80mm and only 30mm of protection at the sides of the vehicle. This leaves you incredibly vulnerable to pretty much every tank on the Allied team, as well as all of the shoulder-fired rocket launchers like the Bazooka and the Piat. But you do have 5 crew members for this vehicle, and you only really need 3 of them to operate the tank correctly. This basically gives you 2 crew members that can be killed before you lose combat effectiveness in the vehicle, which despite the poor armour, does give this tank very good survivability. Unless you're going up against one of the really high leveled Allied or American tanks like the M4A1, you do stand a pretty good chance of trading or beating a tank duel, simply because you can replace your crew. But enough of the boring stuff, let's get on to the main gun. It's armed with the 75mm KWK-40L48 gun. Now this is armed with both armour piercing and high explosive shells. The armour piercing shells are pretty much useless apart from engaging enemy tanks, but the majority of the times you press the fire button in this tank will be used against infantry, and thankfully the 75mm gun's high explosive round is very powerful. As with all high explosive rounds in game and in real life, it's the diameter of the shell that's important, so the bigger the gun, the bigger the splash damage. While not as powerful as the Tiger's 88mm gun, The 75mm gun on this tank is incredibly powerful against infantry. It has a pretty large splash radius and also a very fast reload speed for the caliber. This great high explosive round, in combination with your two 7.92mm MG34 machine guns, one coaxially mounted and one commanded by the commander, makes this tank a very potent anti-infantry vehicle. So, is it worth playing? And more importantly, is it worth paying for? Well, there are several allied tanks now in Enlisted which can kill this thing pretty easily. The Sherman Jumbo, the Sherman Firefly, just to name a few. So you certainly cannot rely on this tank's armour to keep you alive, but you certainly can rely on the firepower. The 75mm high explosive rips through infantry, and the armour piercing round will still get through most of the Shermans. Because Enlisted is such a new game at the minute, most players aren't playing the high level Sherman tanks, they're still using the M8 and the scout car things, which does artificially make this tank a little bit better than it is. If you were going up against the Wolverines or the M4A1s, it wouldn't be as good as it is at the minute. But this is by no means the best German tank currently in the invasion of Normandy. You can get the Panzer and the Tiger, so it's by no means overpowered, so to speak. But if you do buy this tank, just know you are very vulnerable, but you can deal out a lot of damage as well. If you enjoy playing the Invasion of Normandy campaign for the German team, then I would say that this is a very good squad to grind out the tech tree, or the campaign should I say. This allows you to grind out a lot of kills very quickly without really putting yourself at risk. It's also pretty low skill cap if we're going to be honest, you're just sitting slightly behind your infantry and pressing left mouse button every couple of seconds. So is it good for grinding? Yes. Is it worth $45? Well, I obviously did buy it myself, so take of that as what you will. I wouldn't really recommend spending $45 on Enlisted unless you are a serious player, so just take what I say with a pinch of salt. Anyway, it is a good squad, I purchased it, I enjoy playing it, I don't get pissed off or stressed out playing it, it's a good grinder. If you like the video, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'm still trying to work out the best format for Enlisted reviews, so if you have any ideas for me to improve, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you love the video, please do consider becoming a member of the channel, like Tomato Soured, Daboa LX, Just Someone, Destroyer 1805, Dr. Bob, Tans, William Tessier, and Lola Alfonsi. Thanks again lads for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next review.